And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. Today, I am reviewing Air Buddies. Believe it or not, guys, this is another 2006 movie that I am reviewing. I am going to go through and I'm going to tally up. I've been talking about this. It's going to be another movie that I can add to my project of every 2006 movie and going through them and why there were so many. Here's another one that we can talk about. But yeah, I remember watching a lot of the old Pixar movies and whatnot when I was a kid, and always seeing like trailers for this movie, or always seeing previews for it, or it being like montages and whatnot. I don't remember seeing it up until this point. We've had it forever, and I finally got around to seeing it, so I have a lot of thoughts on it. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? First off, you're asking for trouble if you leave a pie on the counter with 5 dogs in the house. Just saying. This lady, it's established that this lady has been to the house before, knows the dogs. You cannot be that stupid. You cannot be that stupid. Come on. Come on. That's all I gotta say about that. They have the dad from Home Improvement. One of the not the main character from Home Improvement. He's one of the other guys. I can't remember his name. But you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. He's a really weird character. He's a really weird guy to play the character, I feel like. But he does a good job of it. I mean, the family overall, they're a really nice family, and they're a really feel-good family, and you really want to root for them when things start to go south for them, and you really want to, because they're a really nice family. You can feel they don't really want to let go of the dogs, but they know it's a good move for them, and it seems like they're a really loving family. Two loving families. Their neighbors too seem like really, really nice people, and they play their characters really, really, really well. But I have to say, they have to be better at keeping things secure. You can't just leave the doors open like that. You just can't leave the windows open. Sorry. I hate to say it, but it's your fault. It's your fault. They probably, probably not the most mean thing to say, but they took good accountability and did the right thing. That's a good piece at least. Let's talk about some things that aren't the greatest in this movie. The mouth movements on the dogs. That is very outdated. It was completely off sync almost the entire time that it happened. Sometimes I just wouldn't pay attention to the mouth movements just because you can hear them, so it's not like anything crazy. I don't know. I mean, it's really weird, especially since it's a live action movie. So when we get the perspective from the humans, the dogs are just barking and their mouths are moving much more than when they are the animated version. It just does not fit well. I'm sure I didn't see this movie in 2006, obviously. I don't know if it looked like that at that point. I don't know. Doesn't look good now, though, for sure. Also a drunk dog at the end of the movie. That honestly was pretty funny. I didn't see that coming, but I thought that was pretty funny. Also, Wallace Shawn is in this. From fucking Princess Bride. And Young Sheldon. Damn, dude. That was a good, and he does his character well too. Some great characters in this movie, and I can't believe they got Wallace Shawn to do this movie. That was probably the biggest surprise of the movie. Honestly, probably the biggest one. And the last thing I gotta say, we're gonna end off on not such a great note here, but I think a lot of the shots are just weak. You can tell that the sometimes with shots, obviously that if the shot is taken from a different perspective, they're not filming it at the same time. But in most movies, you can't tell that, right? Well, I guess this is more for live action movies, not animated movies. But with this, you can tell, right? there's times where the dog is jumping and then the very next frame he's sitting down, or vice versa, or they look completely different, or this kind of stuff. And that's kind of the challenge I guess you face when you do live action dogs and you're trying to do something like this. To be honest, they did pretty good for what it is. I mean, I can't really rip on it. It's a very small complaint, but it is one that is very noticeable if you are paying attention. It just does feel choppy. It doesn't really affect anything grand in the movie, like the pacing or anything. I think it's pretty good. It does drag on a little bit, but honestly, it's not terrible. So, there you go. But honestly, this movie's not terrible. I don't know. I don't like watching movies that feature like real life pets because I'm afraid they're going to die. Spoiler alert, nobody dies in this movie. So don't worry about that. All the animals are fine. Nobody gets hurt. Severely hurt, at least. So that's good, but that's always the fear I have going into movies like this. But thankfully, we're okay here. So for my final score, though, for Air Buddies, I am going to have to give it just a 5. I am. That seems it does feel like a little bit lower of a score than maybe what the review was leading on, but I can't bring myself to make it any higher than that. But it is a good movie for the kids. I will say it's obviously more a kids-oriented movie. I think this is a really good movie for the kids. I think they'll really enjoy it because they won't notice a lot of the things that I notice or you would notice or anything like that. They just see the funny dogs farting and eating cookies and pie and donuts and running around and all that sort of stuff, and they'll enjoy it. So there you go. But that's going to do it for this review. If you've ever seen Air Buddies, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And this will not be the last movie from this Air Buddies series. I got one more on my list to do, so there we go. But otherwise, till next time, stay tuned for other much more basic content. There we go. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.